You're not boring. You're not anxious. You're not awkward. You're not an introvert. You're none of those things. You just lack good communication skills. And this holds you back in every area of your life. Literally, you might think, oh, maybe I need to learn this. I need to learn crypto. Maybe I need to learn trading. Maybe I need to learn that and this and that. But the truth is, what you need to learn is your communication skills, improving your communication skills. Because why? It's the one thing that you've done since you were young. But why is it that everybody has spoken, everybody has communicated, but why is it that a lot of people are bad at it and a lot of people don't end up manifesting the kind of lives that they want? Because they have bad communication skills, bro. So only the top 1% right now in this generation have been able to master this skill and use it to their advantage. Literally, if you think about it, when it comes to marketing, best form of marketing, YouTube, talking on camera. You see, my ability to come here and just talk to you and tell you, bro, like communication is so important and like you need to boost it for you to like improve your whole life, whether it's sales, whether it's relationships, all that stuff. My ability to come here and tell you about that is a sign of good communication, and you need to be using it. So the top 1% have been able to use this to achieve their dreams, literally. And back then it was only taught to, those people, the actors, the rich people. They were the only ones who could actually afford to get this kind of information. But now we live in the information age, bro. Knowledge is power. If you know better, you will do better. So now I want to break down to you how you can boost your communication, and the fact that literally communication is something that you can learn. Improving your communication skills is something that you can learn. It's something that you can acquire, and it's something that you can put in your arsenal of weapons. Literally, it makes you a dangerous man. You can be a dangerous man if you cannot even communicate your plans. If you can't even tell people what you're planning, you can't even tell people what's on your mind. You know what I mean? In a concise, clear manner. It's very hard. So I'm going to break down to you right now how you can be a master communicator on a different level, because I've been able to shift my communication skills rapidly in under 2 years. In under 2 years, I've been able to do it. So I want to give it to you in only a few minutes. So listen up. So bro, there's only main types of communication. Two main types of communication. There is verbal communication and there is non-verbal communication. Hold on, bro. I don't know why this thing always makes me look so white. Jesus. Verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So those are the two forms of communication. If you want to be a master communicator, you need to master both of them at once. It's not good enough to just master your verbal communication, because then there's still the non-verbal communication side that you have left out, and vice versa. So when it comes down to verbal communication, I'm talking about speaking and storytelling. Those two things. Speaking and storytelling skills are two of the most powerful verbal forms of communication. Very, very, very powerful. Your ability to speak, your ability to present yourself, whether it's in public with a bunch of people, whether it is one-on-one with a woman, whether it's with your homeboys, whether it's with your family, your ability to speak and to actually get your emotion to be felt by whoever is listening, whether it's sad, whether it's motivational, whether all that, your ability to speak and to communicate like that is very, very important. So when it comes down to speaking, try to do the most, okay? I think that's the best advice I can give you in terms of speaking. If you want to be a better speaker, you need to do the most. And by doing the most, I'm not talking about being goofy. I'm talking about, first of all, you need to read the room all the time. Make sure you know where you're actually talking from, who you're talking to. Make sure you read the room. But you need to do the most. And I mean, increase your volume. Try to talk louder. Try to talk softer, depending on what you're talking about. Try to use pitch. You can make your pitch very high if what you're talking about is very, very, something very important and something that you can't forget. But you can also slow it down and talk in a lower pitch if you want to drive a point home. If you want to make a conclusion, you can reduce your volume. You see what I mean? So make sure that you're using different parts of your voice. I want you to understand that your voice is an instrument. I have videos up on this on my channel. You can go and watch a bunch of videos on literally using your voice to become more confident, boosting your voice, making it sound better. Because back then I remember listening to my voice, and you know that stuff when you listen to your voice on audios, when you record yourself and you're like, ugh, is that me? Why do I sound like that? You be recording yourself like, yo, what's up, shorty? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you doing, shorty? And then like when you hear it, you're like, boom. Hey, what's up, shorty? How are you doing? What are you doing, shorty? You're like, what? What's going on? You're like, that's not me. But now I no longer go through that. Like, honestly, I haven't been through that in so long. Whenever I listen to myself, I'm like, yeah, that's how I want to sound. So I've only been able to do that from working on my voice, exercising your voice like a muscle, training your voice, all that stuff, which I talk about in those videos. There's a video I think I uploaded on how you can, you know what I'm saying? Because I remember I recorded it a few days ago. So by the time you're watching this video, then it has already been uploaded. So you can go and find it, something to do with the voice. Yeah, so that's when it comes down to speaking. But then there's also storytelling. Storytelling is so important. Storytelling is so important. Like, if you can come here and tell people a story that conveys some sort of wisdom. You see, the thing is, you guys know, I don't even know, I'm always giving Bible analogies, but there might be a lot of people here who are not even Christian. But in the Bible, it talks about Jesus saying, basically Jesus, instead of telling people what to do, he told stories. And telling stories was a very good and effective method for Jesus back then. Because if you try and tell people what to do, you're not really the law. You don't really have the attention of people. Because you're not the law, you've not like studied, you're not him, you're not like one of the Pharisees or one of those people who are like scholars, you know what I mean? Those like the prophets and all that stuff. Like, those are the people who could tell people what to do. But Jesus, he wanted to come as a normal person, and he wanted to present himself as a normal person. You know what I mean? So he was average, he was normal. So his only way of actually giving wisdom was through stories. Stories are very powerful. The reason why he used stories is because stories have what they call hidden anecdotes or hidden meanings. Stories have hidden meanings, and these hidden meanings are the ones that convey the wisdom that you're trying to give. So whenever I always say, bro, don't give advice to people, don't tell people what to do. But what I like to say is start to use more stories, start to tell more stories to people, especially if you want to help them. If you're trying to give advice in any kind of way, just tell stories, bro. Don't tell people what to do. It's bad. Tell stories. So storytelling is very, very important. You can work on your storytelling skills by, there are a bunch of videos on YouTube you can search for how to tell stories better, storytelling frameworks. But I'll give you a quick summary on how you can improve your storytelling. Quick summary. Basically, a story is made up in two different parts. First of all, there is a hook. The hook is the first part of the story. Very, very important. It's the number one most important part of the story. From that hook, there is a setting. You need to say who, what, where, why. You know what I mean? To start off your story. So it's a hook, a setting. Then after that, you need to talk about a problem. There has to be a problem. A problem is basically something bad that happens in the story. And then from that problem, there is a resolution. Resolution is very, very important. So I'm here with my brother. Kier just came. You know what I'm saying? What's up, my brother?
So you good?
Yeah, man. Just preaching communication.
Yeah.
Kier over here has really good communication skills. Yeah. He boosted them in the shortest time possible. How have you been able to boost them in that quick time, bro?
Actually, the best thing I would say to all of you out there is practice and practice. Practice always makes improvement. So that's the first thing. You should be consistent at whatever you do.
Yeah.
As simple as that. There's nothing more that I'm going to add.
Of course, bro. That is nice. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. Practice is so important. Putting in those reps. It's very, very important that you put in those reps. So now, like, what I was saying is, when it comes down to storytelling, you need to have that framework, the hook. After the hook, you have the setting, then the problem, a solution. After the solution, like AKA the resolution of the story, there has to be a point. So those are the steps to a good story. I don't know if they're 3 or 5. I don't know. So let me give you an example of a good story. So literally, I'll tell you a story about how I actually approached this one lady in Mombasa, a Habibi. She was very pretty, like 10 out of 10, shorty. Pretty as hell. So I was in this restaurant, first of all. You see? You see what I did? So the first part of that story is my hook. My hook is, bro, I'm going to tell you a story about how I approached this really, really pretty lady in Mombasa. Like, she was so pretty. She was a 10 out of 10. That's a hook. Now it has your attention. Then the intro that I'm giving is a setting. The setting is, I was literally in Mombasa. I was in a restaurant. Very famous restaurant on the coast. And I was sitting there eating my meal. And I saw this lady looking at me across the table. She's on another table. She's looking at me. She's really pretty. When I look back, she looks away. She's scared. You know what I mean? She's like scared. Then I see like a kid. There's a kid who's dancing around, right? There's a kid who's dancing around and he's next to that table. And he walks up to that lady and she gives him a kiss, kind of like a motherly kiss. So at that moment, I realized, oh, that is her son, basically. So now that's the setting complete. I've given you the setting. I've told you what's going on. You've painted a picture in your head. Now the problem. I'm moving on to the problem. So now at this point, I'm like, I need to say something, but at the same time, I'm sitting down eating. So it's going to be weird if I stand up and walk there, or I wave, you know what I mean? Or I wink. I don't know. It would be a bit weird for me to like do anything because I'm kind of eating right now. So forcefully, I have to relax and I have to just complete my meal. You know what I mean? I have to complete my meal and let things play out and just chill. You know what I mean? Just be present, not forcing things. That's the problem now. Now I'm going to move on to the solution of the story. So eventually I finish my food and I'm leaving, right? I pay off the bill and I stand up to leave. And she is with her son. She's standing there. The son is dancing. Now the son is a vibe, like one of those kids who'll be dancing with everybody. You know what I mean? So he's dancing. He's like really dancing like crazy. So she's standing there with her son. So she's kind of like in the way of where I'm going to walk towards. So I'm walking in that direction. So she's there. I approach her and I'm like, yo, your son is a vibe. That's where I started from. And fast forward, long story short, she asked me for my snap. Like she raised me up. She's like, oh yeah, my son. Yeah, we start talking. She's like, oh, she's from the UK, but she just came to visit Mombasa. Like, that's crazy, you know? Like, she's from the ends. So we just, we talked a bit and she asked me for my Snapchat. I gave her my Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically, it went well. That's what I can say. It went well. And it's crazy. Approaching a 10, you don't expect it to always go well. But it did. It literally did. And yeah, that's what happened. So basically, if you want to boost your confidence, you need to be able to take that first step. You know what I'm saying? You need to go out of your way. So now I've given you the solution. Now I'm giving you the point. The point is basically if you want to boost your confidence, you need to take that first step. And also you need to work on your storytelling skills like I just did. Yeah, so that's the point of the story. So when you give a story in that kind of fashion, you become more engaging in your content, in life, in conversations with people, and you literally stand out. This is what makes you stand out in life, in sales, literally in sales with clients. Stories are so important with clients. People don't want to hear what like you want them to do. No. But when you use stories, I went through that. I actually went through that. I have somebody who went through that. When you use stories, that is what helps you the most in business. So stories are also important in business. So that is when it comes down to verbal communication. Now, I want to tell you about non-verbal communication because this is the second form of communication, non-verbal communication. What you say is not always important. Sometimes it's how you say it. Also, that might not also be important. Sometimes it's about how you present yourself. So there's two forms of non-verbal communication. Two forms of non-verbal communication. The first one is aura. So the first one is aura. The second one is body language and expressions. So, bro, this is cool. This is so cool right now. On the topic of communication, I literally scripted this video a while back, but you can see I'm not using a script. Look, no script. No script. Why? Of course, first of all, my ability to communicate. I've been working on my communication skills, also my speaking skills, my storytelling skills, but also the fact that like I can hold a script in my head because my scripts are not too complicated. I just put a few bullet points. The fact that I can literally hold the script in my head for this long is crazy. But this comes from practice. This is a sign of what you will achieve from mastering your communication skills. Right now, if you're like, bro, I can't seem to speak on camera, or like I have to keep on looking at the script all the time, don't worry, eventually you're going to stop. So slowly by slowly, I'm getting rid of the script, as you can see. Yeah, so I was saying the two forms of non-verbal communication: aura, number one; number two is body language and expressions. So those are the two main forms of non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is, you see, human beings are 80% visual creatures. That means that 80% of our senses, like our sensory energy, is used in sight. The amount of energy that we put into our senses. Literally, we trust more with our eyes than with words than with opinions and stuff. People like seeing stuff. So how you present yourself to be is very important. So when it comes down to your aura, the best thing I can tell you about aura, because aura is not something that you can just, you know what I mean? Aura is from within. So when you have internal aura, that's how you get external aura. So, excuse me, I'm feeling like an ulcer is forming in my stomach. I'm hungry because I haven't eaten yet. So I'm just going to take a sip of water. You know what I'm saying? Take a sip of water. Just get a bit of water. Nothing too crazy. As you can see, I'm in my family home. You know what I'm saying? I came to visit my parents' home. It's beautiful here, man. The trenches. Have to get more inspiration for my goals, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, aura comes from within. What do I mean by that? A lot of people think that aura is something that you're born with, or it's an outfit that you put on. Haven't you noticed a lot of people who put on the best outfits but they don't have aura? Or they look the best but they don't have aura? You know what I mean? So it's not really something external if you think about it. Aura is something that comes from inside. So you have to have internal aura. And internal aura means you have to be free and comfortable with yourself inside for you to project that externally. Yeah? So that's very important. If you want to have aura, if you want to be somebody who has aura, you need to have aura from within. That means you have to fix your insides. So what do I mean by fixing your insides? I mean being more mindful. Spending more time outside, clearing your mind, meditating more, not judging yourself so much from inside. You know what I mean? Fixing your mental health. All this stuff is going to boost your aura. In public, people will see you and they'll be like, this guy has aura. Trust me, those things will really help you. So aura is the first way that you can communicate non-verbally, without talking. Non-verbal means no talking. The second one is body language and presence. So externally, what you can do to present yourself as somebody who is a better communicator, somebody who is actually good, is when it comes down to, let me say you're listening to somebody, you should use the body language of somebody who's listening. Like cross your arms, put your hand on the chin, nod your head, use expressions like facial expressions. You can be like, huh. Or you can be like, oh. Like, ah. Like, huh. You know what I mean? Use facial expressions. This is what helps you be a more dynamic person, and this is what helps you communicate better in every conversation that you have. Whether you're answering questions or you're the one making the questions, I promise you, bro, if you're using body language, if you're using your facial expressions, if you're using body expressions, you're going to present yourself better. Like you can see here on this video, if you scroll through this video, literally, if you hold the YouTube thing and you scroll through, like behind or forward, you will see my arms just doing this. My arms just literally just doing this. Literally, that's how my arms move. Because those are the expressions that I use. Literally, that's how I move my arms. And it makes the video more engaging. It makes what I'm saying actually make sense. You know what I mean? Because if I was not using my hands, it's kind of weird. You're just seeing my head and I'm just talking and I'm talking. But if I'm using my hands, it's like, yeah, listen up, bro. Listen up. This is very important. So I use your hands for more dramatic effect. all that stuff. That's going to help you use better body language. Also, don't do closed body language. It's really bad if you're communicating. It communicates weakness and timidness. What you need to do is use open body language. You know what I mean? Keep your body open, put your chest out, breathe through your stomach, all that stuff. It's so important. So those are two forms of non-verbal communication: aura and body language / presence. Those, sorry, expressions, not presence. Body language and expressions. Those are the most important two forms of non-verbal communication. So if you master those forms of communication and you actually take time, right? Because it takes time and intention. Intention is very important. If you actually put the intention to work on yourself and become a better communicator, I promise you, your whole life is going to change. You're going to be the kind of person who walks into a room and instantly you dominate the room. You're going to be the kind of person who walks into a sales meeting and instantly closes the deal. You're going to be the kind of person who goes on a date with a woman and instantly claps cheeks. Wait. So if you want to speed up your confidence and you want to boost your confidence, become the most confident version of yourself, and you want all these communication skills direct from me, you can click the top link in the description to work with me. I will help you achieve them in only 90 days. Only 90 days. I will help you achieve uttermost confidence. Basically, become the prime. If you think about all the versions of yourself in the multiverse, there has to be a prime. There has to be a version of you who is the most confident version. I want you to be that version. So if you feel like getting these videos is not just enough, the free value is not enough, you can come and work with me. Of course, top link in the description. Yeah, so if you got value from this video, hit that like button and also subscribe, because I'm going to be uploading more videos on how you can boost your confidence in the shortest time possible. I'm going to be uploading more videos every 3 days, literally. So you can also hit that sub button. And thank you for watching, man. Peace.